Hi guys, Miss Terry here, and I'm going to read a couple of stories for you about dinosaurs because dinosaurs are cool. This book is called Tyrannosaurus Drip, and it's by Julia Donaldson, and it's read with permission from HarperCollins Children's Publishing. And here we go. In a prehistoric river, in a prehistoric swamp, lived a herd of duck-billed dinosaurs who liked to stand and chomp. And they hooted up with rivers, and they hooted up with reeds, and they hooted up with bellyfuls of juicy water weeds. Oh my goodness. Now across the rushy river, on the hill on the other side, lived a mean Tyrannosaurus and his grim and grisly bride. And they shouted, up with war, and they shouted, up with bellyfuls of duck-billed dinosaurs. Oh dear. But the two Tyrannosaurus, so grisly, mean, and grim, couldn't catch a duck-billed dinosaur because they could not swim. And they muttered, down with rivers. And they muttered, down with wet. And they muttered, what a shame that bridges aren't invented yet. Oh my goodness. Now, a little Compsognathorus, but for short we'll call her Comp, found a duckbill egg and stole it from a nest at the swamp. And she swam with it, and she ran with it, and muttered, clever me, and what a baby Comps be thrilled with duckbill eggs for, uh-oh, what is that? Oh dear. Dropped the egg in terror and went running for her life from the mean Tyrannosaurus and his grim and grisly wife. And the duckbill egg went rolling, and at last it came to rest in, of all unlikely places, a Tyrannosaurus nest. Now the mother T had great big jaws and a great enormous legs, but her brain was rather little, and she couldn't count her eggs. And she sang, hatch up, my terrors, with your scaly little tails, and your spiky little toothies, and your scary little nails. Look at that, here they come. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Out hatched babies, 1 and 2, as perfect as could be. But Mother T was horrified by baby number 3. Oh, and she grumbled, look, he looks weedy. And she grumbled, he looks weak. And she grumbled, what long arms. And look, his mouth is like a beak. Oh my goodness, look how much they look alike. But he looks a little different. He just needs feeding up, said Dad, and gave the babies some meat. The first 2 gulped and guzzled, but the third refused to eat. And he said, I'm really sorry. And he said, I simply can't. And he said, this meat looks horrible. I'd rather eat a plant. Oh my goodness. A plant, yelled Mama in horror, and Dad said, get a grip. His sisters found the name for him, Tyrannosaurus Drip, and they shouted, up with war, and they shouted, up with duck-billed dinosaur. Poor Tyrannosaurus Drip tried hard to sing along, but the others yelled, you silly Drip, you've got the words all wrong. For he hooted down with hunting, and he hooted down with war, and he hooted down with bellyfuls of duck-billed dinosaur. Oh my goodness. Drip's sister soon grew big enough to hunt with Dad and Mom, but they turned on Drip and told him, "You're not fierce enough to come." And he cried, "They've gone without me." And he cried, "Out of the way!" And he cried, "This doesn't feel like home. I'm going to run away. Oh no." Look. So he ran off to the river, where he saw a lovely sight, a herd of duck-billed dinosaurs, all hooting with delight. And they hooted up with rivers, and they hooted up with reeds, and they hooted up with bellyfuls of juicy water weeds. As he stood there in the bank, a sudden urge took hold of him, and he jumped into the water and discovered that he could swim. And the duckbills came to greet him by the rushy river's edge, and they hooted, "Nice to see you," and they hooted, "Have some veg." Oh, look at this. And Drip, who was delighted that they hadn't run away, ate bellyfuls of water weeds and played with them all day. Then he gazed into the river, and he asked them, "Who, oh who, is this creature in the water?" And they all laughed and said, "It's you. Look, there he is." That night the lightning cracked, the storm blew down a tree, and it fell across the river, and the tees cried, "Yippee!" Oh no. And they shouted, "Up with hunting!" And they shouted, "Up with war!" And they shouted, "Up with bellyfuls of duck-billed dinosaur!" Oh no. Oh my goodness. Drip's sister stepped onto the bridge, but then began to frown, for there in front of them stood Drip, who yelled, "Look out! Look down!" And they looked into the water, and they each let out a yelp, and one cried, "Water monster!" and the other cried, "Help!" Look, they see themselves in the water. Oh my goodness. Their mother scolded, "Nonsense!" and she joined them on the tree. Then she looked into the water and exclaimed, "Goodness gracious me!" And the three of them stood trembling. Dad said, "Get a grip. You're all of you as drippy as Tyrannosaurus Drip." Now here he comes. He strode onto the bridge and scoffed, "I bet there's nothing to see." Then he looked into the water and jumped into the air. Oh, look! Look right there. Oh no. And how the duckbills hooted when he landed with a crash. And the three in the tree bridge broke. Look, it broke right. And all four went tumbling with a splash. Oh, and spluttering and clinging to the branches of the tree. And they went whooshing down the waterfall and all the way to the sea. And the duckbills hooted happy. They hooted, "Hip, hip, hooray!" for the heroic one and only duck-billed Drip. There he is. Good job, friend. Good job. That was such a fun book. And look at these dinosaurs we have right here. That sure looks like those duckbills, doesn't it? Yeah. Living out here. Look, there's all kinds of dinosaurs out to play today. It's such a sunny day. Now, I've got another book, and this is called That's What Dinosaurs Do, written by Jory John. Oh my goodness, can you tell me what dinosaurs do? Do they go, roar? I think they do. Let's find out. Looky here. Here is an average group of folks just waiting at the bus stop. Here they are. But look into that bush. What do you see? A pair of eyes looking back at you? Oh my goodness. Roar, says the dinosaur. Oh no! He scared all of them. And look, off to the playground he goes. Roar! He scared the children so much that their hair stood up. And here he is at the farm. He's working at the farm, and he says, "Roar!" And look, the sheep. "Meep," says the sheep. Oh, no. Oh, no. William had a really great weekend, but now his throat hurt from all that roaring. William went to the doctor. Holy smokes, do you see what's in his throat? Oh my goodness, poor William. No more roaring for a week, the doctor proclaimed, and I mean it. Roar? Asked William. Exactly, said the doctor. Do not do that. But how can I not roar, thought William. That's what dinosaurs do. Roar! William was sad. Oh, he was down and distraught and depressed and drained. Roaring was his life. Now what? Oh man, he did want to get better, though, so William completely stopped his roaring. You know what? That was not easy. Look what he did. He put that all around his mouth so he could not roar. And look, there he has gone to the taco stand. There was just too many great opportunities to roar. Did he roar? No. And everybody was happy. He went to the baseball field. Did he roar? No. And everybody was happy. Look, he went to the farm to work. Did he roar? No. And all the animals were happy. As embarrassing as it was, poor William decided that he must live a life of silence. He sat in his chair and stared at the wall and drank cup after cup of chamomile tea with honey. That sounds good. Not roaring is so boring, he thought. Oh my goodness. It's no fun when Dinosaur loses his roar, even for a week. Look, on Tuesday, William moped around his garden. On Wednesday, William remained inside the house. On Thursday, William stayed under the covers all day. On Friday, William could barely stand it. He had to roar again. Oh my goodness. William went back to the doctor, and look, she looks deep inside his throat. It looks a little better, William, said the doctor, but still not great, though. Roar? Asked William. You may roar, said the doctor, but if you roar too much, your throat will surely hurt again. Let's see what happens. Outside the doctor's office, William stopped the mailman, who smiled and waved, and William waved back. He felt something bubbling in his throat. William knew he shouldn't roar at the nice mailman, but he did it anyway. Because that's what dinosaurs do. Let's see what happens next. William spotted some kids in the playground. They were having a lot of fun. William liked fun, so he joined them on the swings. And on the slide. While he played, William knew he shouldn't roar at all at kids, but then he felt the new roar building up. Until he just couldn't help himself. Because that's what dinosaurs do. Oh my goodness, look. William spotted some people waiting on the bus, so he waited. Fun fact, dinosaurs don't like waiting. And he waited. Fact, they like roaring. Roar! Yes, because that's what dinosaurs do. He roared so hard, he made that bird fly away. Oh my goodness. William rode the bus all the way home. At his stop, the driver said, "Have a nice weekend, William." William turned and smiled his nicest, toothiest smile. And then he roared in the driver's face. "Roar!" said William. "Geez, what was that for?" asked the driver. There was only one answer to that question. That's what dinosaurs do. William had another great weekend. Roar! 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 Oh my goodness. He roared at a lot of people, didn't he? Roared at a squirrel! What? A squirrel? The townspeople gathered in front of William's house and demanded an apology. Even his doctor was there. No more sore throats! No more roaring! Quiet! Shh! But William wasn't sorry for roaring, not one bit. You want to know why? Because that's what dinosaurs do! Roar! Yay! Thanks, guys, for having story time with me. Now, I think I'm going to play with my dinosaurs. Roar!